Hi everyone, Lewis here. I've just been to see another movie. I saw it in Imax, and it was a film called The Woman King, which I've been looking forward to. It's one of those movies I've seen the trailer for many, many times. Every time I've been to the cinema in the past month or so, really. Um, and I thought, yeah, cool, I'll check that out. Looks pretty good. One thing I'll say before we do it: this is one of those films because it's about women and black women, especially. There's gonna be a lot of people going, "Oh, this is woke," and that annoys me. So if you're here to leave any of those comments, then please don't bother because I'll just delete them anyway. Or maybe I won't. Any comments are good for engagement and that, aren't they? So, but yeah, and I've seen some people kind of questioning the historical nature of this and saying that these people aren't what they're made out to be in the movie. And it's like, yeah, it's a movie. Anything in history is probably going to be worse than it looks in a movie. And I've seen some things specifically which they also address in the movie. Some people said the title doesn't make sense. A woman king, surely that's a queen. Again, that's addressed in the movie. So yeah, so all that, don't care. Just here to watch a movie. And yeah, so if that's anything that you want to comment about, just don't bother. So yeah. Anyway, on a more positive note, how is it as a movie? It's pretty good, yeah. It was pretty much what I thought. It's maybe a touch on the long side. That didn't bother me really, but it might bother some. It's over 2 hours, and I'm not sure if it needed to be, but I didn't find it a problem. I could tell it was going a little while, but not. There was no point where I kind of went, oh, you know what, this is starting to lose me in that. But generally, I found it to be a pretty solid, entertaining movie, and I always know it's a good movie if you're getting towards the end of the film and you kind of go, I really hope these characters all make it. Like obviously no spoilers in this, but I know if it's a movie where I'm invested in the outcome and the characters' fates, I kind of go, okay, this is a good movie because I care about it. I'm not just sitting here going, oh well, technically this is good. I'm actually kind of going, oh, I want these characters to be okay and to do the thing that they're looking to achieve. But yeah, the movie is led by Viola Davis, and she's the leader of these African women warriors in the 1800s, I believe. And I mean, Viola Davis is an absolute powerhouse anyway, so she's always great to watch. But in this film, she's literally a powerhouse. Like, she just, I don't think I've seen her play something this sort of action oriented before. So in some ways, it seems like an odd fit. But when I saw the trailer, and she's just got this build to her where she's just solid, like you just kind of go, yeah, you wouldn't mess with her. I mean, I wouldn't mess with her in any of her roles, like, because she can be scary when she wants to be anyway, but in this she looks like she could proper kick your head in as well. And that's one of the best things about it is all these like warriors and stuff. They're all really convinced. Like Tashana Lynch, but obviously known from like Captain Marvel and stuff like that. She's one of the main characters as well, and you kind of see the inside of like this group from one of the younger girls who's kind of training and coming up in the group and that, and yeah, they're all really believable. And like I say, the action scenes are really solid, really believable, and there's not too many of them. It starts pretty heavy, it goes straight in with an action scene, and then there's quite a long gap before the next one. There's a few like training bits and stuff like that, but there's quite a long bit, and it didn't it didn't bother me. I wasn't sitting there going, come on, get to the action. I was actually interested in what was happening and what was going on in the story and that kind of thing. There was no point where I was kind of going, come on, I want to see something happen now, kind of thing. So that's a good sign. It shows the film's quite well put together, and when it does get to the action scenes, they're very satisfying as well. I say really like appreciated the sound in this film as well, which isn't often something I think about. I'm more of a visual guy, I guess, but yeah, they really lend it well to the battle scenes, because when you watch a battle scene, you want things to look real, but you want them to sound like, you want to get that real visceral feeling. When things are being chopped and hit and that, and you can hear that crunch, and that really adds to it, really gets you into it. So yeah, so I think overall it was really well sort of put together, like production design, sets, costumes, everything. Like I thought it all looked really good and all worked really well. In terms of the overall sort of content of the film, like it's a 15 rating, which is really spot on rating, I think, because I think they could have, like I said with my Smile review, they could have gone either way in either direction on this, and it probably would have still worked. But they kind of towed the line quite nicely here. Like it could have gone into full 18 rated, like really violent territory, but obviously you're cutting out part of the audience there, and it didn't really need that. There was no point where I was kind of disappointed in what it was showing, kind of thing. You could even have maybe curved some of the grimmer edges of the film and made it a bit more kind of maybe not quite a 12A, but you know you possibly could have done, but it would have lost quite a bit of it, I think. So I think it really, you know, was a solid 15 rating. Like the violence is there and is, you know, satisfying enough without it being kind of like too much. There's some really kind of like darker aspects of the film, because obviously it deals with like slavery and the slave trade and stuff like that and everything that entails, which, you know, they do a good job of reflecting like some of the reality of that. I know no movie would obviously ever be able to capture that properly, but nor would you want it to as something you're going to see for entertainment. But yeah, it really kind of does kind of reflect that, and they kind of skirt around it without kind of it being too much as a viewer kind of thing. So that, but you still get like, you know, the stakes of everything and that sort of thing. And like I said, it really makes you want to get behind the characters and kind of see them do what they want to do and see them ultimately survive and that kind of thing. So, and you know, and you're kind of in, like I said, I was invested in it as well. So yeah, overall, good time at the movies. Like I say, I saw it in Imax, which I think, you know, really helped. Like I say, with the sound and the large scope of it. You know, there's a lot of shots of like, you know, planes and stuff like that. You know, African planes, not actual planes. They didn't have them back then. Yeah, and you know the battle scenes and that kind of thing, which aren't huge in scale, but you know they're more, you know, kind of skirmishes and that sort of thing. But it does make them look really good. So I recommend it in IMAX if you can. But yeah, overall I think it's a pretty solid, good time at the movies, that's for sure. So it might be a little on the long side for some. It's about 2 hours 15 minutes. I didn't, you know, as I said, I didn't feel that was a problem myself. There is a little mid-credit scene as well, which is quite nice. Really good performances across the board, I think. I didn't mention John Boyega's in it as well as the kind of the king, and he's really good. I really like John Boyega. It's nice to see him in things because, like, obviously he did Star Wars and that, and you know, from Attack the Block back in the day and Detroit a bit more recently. He's a really good actor, and it's not, I think, you know, a lot of his activism and stuff like that in the real world. I think he kind of said at one point like, I might not even work again because of this kind of thing, but I'm glad that people, you know, are still giving him roles and stuff and taking him on because he's a really good actor. I really like him. And yeah, so like I say, side note there, but overall, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid, pretty enjoyable movie. You say some you know, darker themes and grim things that might upset some people, but I say it's not too full on, I would say. So yeah, yeah, that was my review of The Woman King. Thank you very much.